my dear students, myself Dr. Nilesh Kumar Gupta. I am working as a professor in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So, today I will teach you further the designing of IIR digital filter. So, this is the third part of the designing of IIR digital filter, that we will see here how you design the IIR digital filter. Previously, I told you about the designing in IIR. What is the basic concept? What are the methods that you can use in IIR digital filter designing? Okay. So, today I will teach you further about more methods and the concept of IIR digital filter designing. Okay. So, let us see. So, the first one was our backward difference or approximation of derivative method, that was very simple. In second one, I told you in my previous lectures impulse invariant method. So, in impulse invariant method you have to follow 3 steps. Initially HAS, it means the transfer function of analog filter is given to you. Okay. So, initially HAS is given to you. HAS means what? HAS means you are taking here what? The analog transfer function. Okay. The HAS is the transfer function of analog signal. Okay. So, HAS, it means you are taking the transfer function of analog filter. At first you have HAS, that is the transfer function of analog filter. In the first step you have to convert this HAS, okay, into the its H of t. This is the impulse response of your analog filter. So, at first you have to convert your HAS into H of t, capital HAS, that is the transfer function of analog filter, and you are converting into the its simple impulse response of analog filter H of t. Now, how it is possible? It is possible by taking the its inverse Laplace transform of HAS. So, if you take the inverse Laplace transform of HAS, then you will get small h of t, that is your simple impulse response of analog filter. Now, if you will, it means this is the first step. Initially HAS is given to, always the physical possible thing is what? You have given analog filter specification or analog filter parameters like HAS, or this is the transfer function of analog filter. Initially it is given to you always. Okay. So, HAS is given to you. So, at first in the first step you have to convert into H of t. Then after that you have to do the sampling here, uniform sampling. Okay. Like you have to do sampling here, it means you have to convert into H of A means analog, small n into capital T. Small n, it means these are the number of samples you have taken, and capital D is your sampling interval. So, after the recovering the small h of t, you have to do the some uniform sampling here, and it converts into the HANT, or it is almost equal to the H of n. H of n is what? H of n is your impulse response of your digital filter. So, now you are getting the H of n, that is the impulse response of digital filter, and finally, you have to convert this H of n into capital H of z, that is the your final transfer function of digital filter. So, now you are converting your HAS into HZ, and this is the motto, this is the step, this is the final step for the designing of your IIR digital filter. In IIR digital filter, these 3 steps you have to taken. Now, the question is that how you convert this HN into HZ. So, it is possible by taking the its Z transform. So, you will get the h of z. So, in impulse invariant method these three steps you have to follow. First step, in first step you have to take the your inverse Laplace transform, then you will get from h a s into h t. In second step you have to do uniform sampling, and in the third step you have to take your z transform of the signal, then you can convert your h a s initially that is given to you into final h z. And now it is possible to design your analog filter into digital filter, or your analog given filter into the IIR digital filter in terms of its transfer function. So, if we take this example, I remember in my last video lecture also I told this example, again I told this example here in detail. So, determine the h of z by using the impulse invariant technique for analog system function. So, h s is given to you. Here h s is equal to what? It is given to you 1 upon s plus 0.5 into s square plus 0.5 s plus 2. So, it is given to you. Now, you know you are having the three formulas in impulse invariant method. First is for linear factors, second is in sine form, third is in cosine form. So, you have to prepare this h of s into one of these formulas or into one of these forms, linear factor, cosine form or sine form. So, how you convert? This is the question. So, here h s is given to you. At first you have to do normally the partial fraction here. So, if you do the partial fraction here, then how it will be possible? H of s is equal to 1 upon s plus 0.5 s square plus 0.5 s plus 2 is given to you. Now, if you do the partial fraction, so this is the linear factor. So, it will be a upon a 1 upon s plus 0.5 plus, now this is the quadratic equation. How you solve? You have to solve by the a 2 s plus a 3 here upon this. Now, you have to solve, and after the solving you have to calculate now the value of a 1, a 2 and a 3. So, a 1, a 2, a 3 की वैल्यू हमको निकालनी है यहाँ पे. So, you have to equate the coefficient in both the sides, then you will get the value of a 1, a 2 and a 3. If you solve these three or the equating the terms in both the sides, then you will get what? Your a 1 is equal to 0.5, a 2 is equal to minus ka 0.5 and a 3 is equal to 0. Now, if you put the values here, so you will get what? Your 0.5 upon s plus 0.5 minus your 0.5 s upon this one. So, this expression you will get. Now, you have to see here in this expression ki which formula is appropriate for this expression, that you have to decide, because it depends upon your expression here. So, first is simple, is it is your linear factor, you do not need here to solve it. Second one, s is connected. So, it can be converted into sine form or cosine form. So, you have to see here, you have to manage here, you have to equate here. So, how it is possible? So, here in the this one, this is your quadratic equation. So, if you because you know the formula in cosine form and sine form will be the what? It is in terms of s plus a upon s plus a ka whole square plus b square. So, this is in cosine form. So, we have to prepare in this form, or you can see in s domain what? Your b upon s plus a whole square plus b square. So, in this way you have to manage this expression. So, like here 0.5 you can take the common here. Now, you have to make the square formula here. So, you know how you make the square formula here. So, you have to plus minus by this, and then it will be what? s प्लस 0.25 का होल स्क्वायर प्लस 1.3919 का होल स्क्वायर. Now 0.5 you can take the common here. Now plus 0.25 and minus 0.25 we have to add here. Then this will be in terms of you can say in cosine form, in this form, okay. But this you have to manage, you have to create in this form here. So, by this you are multiplying by some quantity, some constant, then it will be in this form. So, if this in form, then you can directly put the value. This is for only linear factor, okay. Directly you can put the value. Also I told in my previous video lectures that these formulas for linear factor, sine and cosine. So, you directly you can put here, okay. So, what this is for directly you can write here 0.5 upon 1 minus e to the power minus का 0.5 t z to the power minus 1 minus 0.5, and this was, if you see here what. So, this was as a for the cosine term and this was for your sine term. So, directly you can put the formula here and you will get the answer, okay. So, here this is for cosine term, right. You are directly you are putting the formula here, and second one, third one is for sine form. Now, t letting here, if t is not given to you in the question numerical, so you can assume here t is equal to 1 second. So, if here you are putting the t is equal to 1 second in whole the expression, so you will get this answer, okay. So, this will be your final transfer function of digital filter whenever small capital H s is given to you. It means, whenever transfer function of analog filter is given to you, then you can convert directly into its digital filter transfer function h of z. Okay. So, next, now advantages and limitations of this method. What advantage you can say? It creates the stable design, it is so easy here. Analog frequency and digital frequency both are linearly related, okay. It means the behavior between the analog frequency and digital frequency. Analog frequency means we are showing analog frequency by ohm and digital frequency by omega, and these are the linearly related, you can say, okay. Now, limitation is what? Limitation is that in impulse invariant method you can only, it can be used for realize the low pass filter and limited class of band pass filter. So, you can use this method for the low pass filter and for limited class of band pass filter. If you want to realize the high pass filter, then this method is not appropriate, and for band reject filter also. So, that is why we have to design another method, okay, and that was the limitation of this method, okay. So, we cannot design here from this method to high pass filter or certain band reject filters using this method. Moreover, the many to one mapping in impulse invariant method from converting your S domain into Z domain causes the issue of aliasing here, which is highly undesirable. So, here what we see, we are hearing the mapping, we are doing the mapping here many into one. For what? Because you are converting here your all the terms from S plane into the Z plane, but you are using here mapping from many to one. So, in this many to one mapping, these limitation you will get the aliasing, that is not desirable for you, okay. And the value of sampling time t that you are choosing here, it is very small to mitigate the effect of aliasing or another transform such as bilinear transform, okay, that removes the issue of one to one mapping, okay. So, these type of limitations you have in impulse invariant method. That is why we came on what bilinear transformation method, that is based upon one to one mapping, okay. So, in bilinear transformation method you need or you can use one to one mapping instead of many to one mapping. So, this is the advantages of bilinear transformation, or you can say these are the limitation, because if any method is having any some advantages, so also that method are having the some limitation. So, these are the limitation of our method of impulse invariant method, by which you can design the IIR digital filter. Okay. So, I hope it is clear to everybody. So, to overcome these limitations, okay, a mapping from S plane to Z plane was to be developed is called bilinear transformation method. So, these limitations that I told in my this PPT to you regarding the impulse invariant method. Okay. So, to overcome these limitations, we will come on bilinear transformation method. That is also convert from your S domain into the Z domain, or you are converting your quantities, your parameter from S plane to Z plane, or you can say your analog plane into the Z plane, digital plane. Okay. So, the concept of IR physical filter designing is same here. The concept of designing of IIR digital filter is also same in bilinear transformation method, but some limitation you are having in impulse invariant method, that is why you are coming on bilinear transformation method. Okay. So, next, so in bilinear transformation method, in this method you have to do the mapping from 1 to 1. Okay. Now, you are converting again your S plane into the Z plane, or you are going from S domain into the Z domain, but 1 to 1 mapping is there. Okay. 1 to 1 mapping is there. So, here you can see this is the S plane, that is for your analog filter, and this is your Z plane, that is for your digital filter, and you are converting your analog filter into the digital filter, or you are going from S plane into the Z plane. So, here this is a conformal mapping that transforms the imaginary axis of S plane, this one, this is your frequency, into the unit circle of Z plane. So, you are converting this imaginary axis of S plane into the unit circle of your Z plane. Okay. So, left side of S plane is transformed into the inside the unit circle of Z plane and vice versa. So, now here you are again converting your S plane into the Z plane, or you are converting your S domain into the Z domain. So, this is also called conformal mapping, okay, 1 to 1 mapping, okay, not many to 1. So, this is the difference between the bilinear transformation method and your impulse invariant method, and it overcome your limitation of impulse invariant method. Okay. So, it removes that, and that will be, and it will be appropriate for your designing of IIR digital high pass filter and some band reject type of filters. Okay. That was not okay in case of impulse invariant method. Now, so in this method, if you put here Z is equal to, because Z is your Z plane and e to the power j omega, it is the your imaginary quantity. Now, j ohm is equal to, if you are putting this formula 1 minus e to the power minus j omega upon 1 plus e to minus j omega. So, it will convert into the form of tangent. Now, your ohm is equal to 2 upon t tan of omega upon 2. So, this relation shows here the relation between your analog and digital frequency. Ohm is your analog frequencies and omega is your digital frequency. So, and this is the graph. By this graph you can also understand the relation between these two frequencies, because your filter, in filter the most important thing is what? Your frequency, and you are transforming your analog frequencies, analog resonant frequency of the filter or cutoff frequency, pass band frequency of the filter into the digital frequencies respectively. So, this is the relation, and this relation is not linear. While in case of impulse invariant method, this relation between the ohm and omega was linear, but here this relation is not linear. Okay. And you can determine the frequencies if you put the values of here, and capital T is what? Your sampling time here. Now, in bilinear transformation method, what you have to put, simply you have to put here what? S is equal to 2 upon T into 1 minus Z inverse upon 1 plus Z inverse. So, this formula only you have to remember, and you have to put the value into H of S, and you will get the H Z. So, S is equal to what? 2 upon T into this you have to put here. So, 1 to 1 transformation you have to give here, you have to solve here. Now, and you are transforming your S plane, okay, of imaginary axis, it contains your analog frequency into its Z plane of unit circle, and you can analyze the stability, instability, causality, non causality also here. So, in this way 1 to 1 mapping for converting your S plane into the Z plane or S domain into the Z domain is possible in this bilinear transformation method, or simply if we say, so in bilinear transformation method what? S is equal to, you have to put only 2 upon T into 1 minus Z inverse upon 1 plus Z inverse, then you will get directly H of Z in Z domain, and you now you will be able to design the your digital filter easily. Okay. So, next. So, these are the design procedure that you can see here. What it means here, at first choose T, select the T. T is your sampling time. This is very important in case of different type of filter designing, because you are designing the filters here, bilinear transformation method that can be used for high pass filter and some type of band reject filter. So, at first you have to select the capital T, that is the sampling time, and after the selecting capital T, determine the your frequencies. Now, you have to determine the frequency for your stop band and pass band. Okay. So, here S and P, P means pass band, S means stop band. So, the simple relation that also I told in my previous PPT here, what? Ohm P is equal to 2 upon T tan of ohm P upon 2, omega P upon 2. So, this is for analog, this is for digital. The same relation here for in case of pass band and in case of stop band. So, you can convert your frequency from analog into digital or from digital into analog by this formula under the bilinear transformation method. So, here what? Ohm P is your pass band analog frequency, ohm S is your stop band analog frequency, okay. AS you can say your gain, and stop band, RP is your pass band ripples you can say. Okay. So, at first you have to design and you have to analyze your frequencies here in pass band and stop band. After that HS is given to you. Now, by the specification, by using trapezoidal formula also I will tell you, if HS is equal to B upon S plus A is given to you, or it is you can say this is the transfer function of analog filter, then you can design directly what? By using bilinear transformation method, your Hz is equal to this one. This is the same formula here. What? You have to put S is equal to 2 upon T 1 minus Z inverse upon 1 plus Z inverse, or it is in terms of your HAS, or HA means your the transfer function of analog filter. Now, this is the derivation. Okay. So, you can derive also here this formula. Okay. How it is possible? So, in analog filter HS is equal to B upon S plus A is given to you. Now, you know HS is equal to B upon S plus A. HS is what? your transfer function of analog filter. It means the Laplace transform of output signal to the Laplace transform of input signal. It means H s is equal to y s upon x s is equal to b upon s plus a is given to you. Now, you have to cross multiply this into this into this, then you will get s y s plus a y s is equal to b into x s. So, after that what you have to take the inverse Laplace transform. Okay. So, this is the bilinear transformation method. Here you cannot use impulse invariant. I am only telling the formula here. If h of s is equal to this b upon s plus a is you are having. So, how you convert this h s into h z, that I am telling you under the bilinear transformation method. So, this is the proof, okay, of formula by which you can convert your h s into h z. Now, what? So, this expression you will get here. Now, taking the inverse Laplace transform. So, s y s obviously, it will be first differentiation d y t by d t plus it will be a y t is equal to b x t. Now, this equation if you are saying here this equation 8.31 or you can say this will be okay 8.31 equation, okay, any equation a b c you can assume here. So, what you have to integrate between the n t minus t to n t, both the sides. So, n t minus t to n t d y t by d t into d t plus a n t minus t to n t y t d t is equal to b n t minus t to n t x t d t. So, you have to integrate both the sides here, okay, under this. Now, we know the trapezoidal formula for under the numerical integration. So, by the trapezoidal formula here, what we know under trapezoidal formula what a t d t for the limit n t minus t to n t, it will be equal to t by 2 a n t plus a n t minus t. Now, applying this, okay, formula or applying this formula into this from the equations and you will get what y n t minus t plus a t upon 2 y n t plus a t upon 2 y n t minus t is equal to b t upon 2 x n t plus b t upon 2 x n t minus t. Now, substitute these values, this is the your this one, and now if you take the z transform of this and you can convert into the y z upon x z, then you will get this one. So, now if you compare this equation number 1 and 2, then you will find what you will get your s is equal to b is common, a and a is common. In place of s, what you are getting? You are getting s is equal to 2 by t 1 minus z inverse upon 1 plus z inverse. So, only in bilinear transformation method, whenever h s is given to you, then only you have to put s is equal to this one and you will get the answer and you will get the h z. Okay. So, I hope it is clear to everybody. This is the formula, you can convert s is equal to this one, only putting into the equation h of s is given to you, then you will get the h of z easily. And this is the relation what I told in my previous PPTs here between the your analog and digital frequencies. Okay. In case of pass band, stop band, what you are talking here, what you desire. Okay. So, this is the question, easily you can solve here what h s is given to you. Now, you have to find out the h of z. So, only you have to put s is equal to 2 upon t into this and you will get this answer, and after the putting the value of t is equal to 1 second or 0.1 second. If it is not given, then you can assume t is equal to 1 second, you will get the h of z. So, it is very simple, only you have to put s is equal to 2 upon t into 1 minus z inverse upon 1 plus z inverse. So, I hope it is clear to everybody how you design the IIR digital filter under the impulse invariant method, what are the limitations, what are the advantages. That is why we came on bilinear transformation method. So, thank you very much, goodbye.